Sarada Uchiha just got put in the most dangerous position of her life. Daemon, the walking cheat code of the Boruto universe, the boogeyman to characters stronger than Jigen. He has his sights set on her. And the scariest part, he's dead serious right now. But here's the twist. The person who decides whether or not Sarada survives this battle, it isn't Boruto, it isn't Sumire, it isn't Shikamaru, it ain't even Daemon himself. Instead, it's Eida. Yes, Eida, the goddess who can bend reality with her omnipotence. She is the single biggest reason Sarada still has a chance to walk away from Daemon alive. And when you really dig into Eida's character, her loneliness, her desperate need for authentic connection, you start to realize that Sarada might be her last lifeline, just as much as Eida is Sarada's last lifeline. Join me in today's newest Naruto Explained video where your OBC, your original Boruto chief, goes into a deep dive on why this newest development is exactly what we need right now as part of this calm before the storm, before Momoshi pulls up from his private jet from Momoshi Island to come to Konoha for Eida. Also, the chapter review should be up on the channel by the time you guys are seeing this, which I'll leave that in the end credits and the description box for your convenience if you've not seen it just yet. Also, don't forget to check out and subscribe to my Anime Explained channel and Everything One Piece Explained channel, also linked in the description box. If you want to hear me talk about other anime besides Naruto, that's Anime Explained. Or if you want to be a One Piece junkie, you have my One Piece channel where I only talk about One Piece and blind review the manga from chapter 1 up to the current chapter as somebody who's never been spoiled. So let's just get right into it. Daemon is a threat right now. Daemon isn't just another strong fighter. He is a nuclear option. Every time a real threat to Eida has appeared, like say when Code got his limiters removed, Eida didn't hesitate for a second before unleashing her little brother. Daemon went from zero to lethal instantly, forced Code to flee with his tail between his legs. But as we've seen, like when Daemon was playing video games with Boruto, when Daemon likes you, he's actually kind of chill. So now when Daemon learns that Sarada and Sumire are immune to Eida's enchantment, the very power that makes her untouchable, it paints them as enemies. Enemies that Daemon is itching to crush because he has to protect his sister. By all logic, Sarada should be dead the moment that Daemon makes his move. Even if Sarada doesn't fight back, Daemon's going to have incentive to kill her to protect his sister. But that logic, it does not account for Eida, and this is where the story could take a sharp turn. Eida's power and her curse are something that I don't think enough people are focusing on. Think about how when Eida is explaining her charm power, more than once we see her with a sad expression. Even when Code was confessing her love, she looked sad for a sec when you look at her eyes. Not because she thought, oh, I might like Code, but it's the fact that even if Code was telling the truth, she could never know because of how omnipotence works. Her enchantment ability basically makes everyone sent for. Then think back to the fact that Sumire also caught on to the fact that Eida was lonely. To understand why Eida might stop Daemon, you have to understand her character. Video essay will probably be coming on Eida sometime in the fourth quarter because I gotta record that and send that to the editor that did the Shikamaru video essay. But on the surface, she looks like she might have everything. She's beautiful, she's powerful, she has influence via that enchantment ability. But the truth, she's been cursed by her own omnipotence. When that power was first activated, it rewrote everything that you see in the world. It made everyone who was not Otsutsuki or blood related captivated by it. They turned into her biggest fans. Whenever she's in their presence, she's the only thing that matters. Sounds like a dream, right? Except for it's not a dream. It robbed her of any chance at a genuine connection. Even if she took pleasure in it before because she was the center of everyone's attention, it's not what she truly wanted. She's like that dog that finally caught the car. She didn't know what to do with every smile, every kind word, every friendship that she experienced. She knew it was fake. It was forced by her ability, not by her choice. That's why Eida has only ever trusted Daemon. He's immune. He's blood. Everyone else is just a cage of illusions in her eye. So when she suspected that Sarada and Sumire were immune, something stirred inside of her, hope for the very first time that real friends might exist there for her. That is why she singled them out and wanted to talk to them. She wanted to have girl talk. Think about the bedroom conversation. Think back to that part in Boruto Part 1. Eida, Sarada, Sumire, they're on the bed, they're talking. She's trying to get them to talk about their feelings for Boruto. She tried so hard to form a connection, and share her own vulnerability by saying how much she likes Kawaki, but she was also crushed by the thought that they were just like everyone else. They're captivated and fake. Her words, they carried real sadness. She said, I can't even have real friends. Everyone focuses on she can't have a romantic relationship, but she even said, I can't have real friends. And then when you look at it, Sarada extended her hand, not physically, but emotionally. She offered friendship. And the look in Eida's eyes in that moment, it wasn't surprise, it was relief. For a split second, she believed it might be possible. Even before that, before Eida even stood in Konoha's Hokage office and all these other places, Sumire guessed that Eida was lonely. Eida's shock reaction when Sumire broke down her character very quickly, it said it all. Someone finally understood her. Someone saw through her facade, and that is powerful. That's something that Eida's been craving her entire life. It's something that we all search for. We all search for our twin flame. We all search for our own sense of community, to have people truly understand us, and Eida's never had that for her. So yes, Eida might be angry with Sarada and Sumire that they are hiding their immunity. But here's the kicker in my opinion. I don't think Eida wants them dead. I think deep down, Eida would rather cling to the slim chance that there is a real friendship than to go back to her eternal loneliness, because she's for the longest time wanted somebody immune to her power that she could talk to and bond with. She finally has it. Do you really think she's going to let Daemon kill them? I don't think so. And that is why I believe Eida holds the key. I think you're going to see her conflicted for a second. This is why Eida is that key. Daemon might be the executioner, but Eida is the judge. If she says stop, he should stop. Whether or not this ends up being something that leads to why we see why Eida never wanted Daemon unleashed, we've never got information on that. That remains to be seen, but right now, based on everything we've seen, if Eida gives the order, Daemon follows. Eida's not just going to let Daemon wipe out the only two people who could become her real friends. Think of it like this. Sarada isn't facing Daemon. She's really facing Eida's loneliness. Daemon is just a physical representation of that when you think of it thematically. If Eida chooses connection over paranoia, Sarada lives. If she chooses fear, then Sarada dies. And every clue that we've been given about Eida's character screams she's gonna choose connection, because her character has been written very closely around the character of Materasu, the goddess from Shinto stories, and also her character has been written very closely to the emotion of love itself. This also is a good moment for Sarada's Hokage journey, and that's where this does get very poetic. Sarada told Kawaki in part 1 she wanted to be a Hokage like Naruto, who treated everyone in the village like they were family and friends. If she manages to turn Eida from an enemy into a friend, that's her living proof that she has truly inherited Naruto's will of fire. She isn't just talking about Naruto's ideals, she's embodying them. And if you really pay close attention to it, Sarada shares a lot of character traits with Naruto. Get away from Naruto being a paint chip eating, glue sniff, toxic fume smeller, and just look at the core of Naruto's character. You see some overlap there. Winning Eida's trust would be just as important as any Sharingan evolution. It's a test of her heart as much as it is her eyes, and it's very poetic because the Sharingan are the eyes that reflect the heart, and it could be the very step that cements her path on Hokage in terms of her journey towards it. Now, I do want to kind of address something that I've been kind of seeing in the comment section, and just like the times I dabble in Boruto, Twitter, and etc., I see confusion in terms of how the female characters are written. Why do Eida, Sarada, Sumire, even Yodo, they talk around their feelings instead of being blunt and just talk directly to it? Like, instead of just saying, I'm angry right now, they talk around why they're angry. Well, here's the reason why. Boys and girls, men and women, they often process emotions differently. If you're an exception to the rule, like for the, I think it's 13% here on Naruto Explained, if you're in that 13% and you're an exception to the rule, you're an exception, this ain't for you. Boys, particularly in shonen stories, they tend to communicate more directly. They'll say, I'm angry, I want this, I'll fight you. Very straightforward. Girls, especially in Japanese writing, which Boruto is a story written by a Japanese man for a Japanese audience, because Japanese fans are the primary audience for Boruto. Even though Boruto's huge overseas, The main target demographic is Japanese, and there's a lot of Japanese cultural stuff that is put into the Boruto manga. Girls in Japanese writing, they tend to express feelings in layers. They circle around the core emotion with hints and side comments, different looks, subtle admissions. It's not avoidance, it's vulnerability that is expressed carefully. That is something that even my Kishimoto's own words he struggled with when it came to writing female characters. Eida doesn't have to flat out say I'm lonely verbatim. She lets it leak out when her guard's down. She lets it leak out in the way that she behaves. Like when she was getting upset that Sarada and Sumire were having that conversation and she could not join in. That was her loneliness eking through, even though it was hidden in some comedy. Sarada doesn't scream, I want to be your friend, or she doesn't scream, I like Boruto. Different things that she did around him told us that. Even when she was explaining her whole situation to Ryu, she talked around it, and when Ryu figured it out in the Japanese manga, he called her an emo girl that was talking about her boyfriend, an emo girl. It was a Japanese expression that does not fully translate well into English. She shows this also with Sarada and her willingness to listen and offer connection. It's the same thing with Sumire. Sumire was mad about multiple things when she crashed out, but she made it seem like, oh, it's because you hugged Boruto, and why are you going to keep calling me class rep and etc. She couldn't get right to the point. That is consistent with how a lot of females in Japanese literature are written, and even just based off of my experience, I grew up in a house filled with women. I was raised by women for the most part because I didn't have a father in the home. Because daddy decided he wanted to go chase that glass pipe and ended up getting another couple women pregnant instead of raising me. But hey, it is what it is, right? Cue sadness and sorrow. I'm gonna go sell in that Naruto swing. Maybe I'll become Hokage one day. I have more aunts than uncles. A lot of them do that same bullshit that as a guy, I get annoyed by it at times, where they talk around instead of get right to the point, outside of my mom, who's extremely blunt. It's all communication, but it's in different dialects of emotion and what you're seeing. And understanding this, it makes the interactions, in my opinion, richer, not weaker. And this is the truth. Sarada, her survival, it doesn't depend on her own strength or on her Sharingan. It depends on Eida's choice, whether she values loneliness or friendship. And if Eida chooses friendship, it could change the entire future of Konoha. Because sometimes the most powerful jutsu, it isn't one cast by chakra. Instead, it's one that is symbolically used through trust. And that line of thinking for my hardcore Naruto fans, you know what that's putting us on the road to? It's putting us on the road to what Hagoromo wanted chakra to be used for, to connect people. Ninshu. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Click here on the left to check out this Boruto chapter review, or click here on the right to check out videos from my other two anime channels where I talk about non-Naruto content.